moving on to our next session. It's a session I'm personally very excited about. Magdalena Malinowska is joining us for an interactive lecture on 4 ways of hearing difficult messages with the help of nonviolent communication. For those of you who may not know nonviolent communication, it is an approach to nonviolent living that was developed by Dr. Marshall Rosenberg in the 1960s. Deepak Chopra, author and world-renowned figure in the field of alternative medicine, calls nonviolent communication the missing element of what we do. He said, quote, "Nonviolent communication connects soul to soul and creates a lot of healing," end quote. Magdalena is a certified nonviolent communication trainer and has founded Empathic Way Europe, through which she helps to implement nonviolent communication in companies, non-governmental organizations, and in private life, as well as promoting honest and clear self-expression and listening to others with empathy and respect. During this workshop, you will get to know the idea of nonviolent communication, how it can support you to dare being yourself even through the challenges in life, and how to accept yourself and others even if you don't like their actions. As well, she will show us 4 different ways of hearing difficult messages, so you can choose how you want to react, even if you're full of strong emotions. If you would like to take notes of the teachings in this lecture, please make sure you have a pen and notebook at hand. Magdalena, it is indeed a great pleasure welcoming you today. Thank you so much for joining us. I leave the floor to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm so happy to be here, and I hope that you will learn something new from that. And I wonder if everybody can see me and hear me without problem. It's okay?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly and see you.
Okay, thank you very much. So maybe I start by sharing my presentation. And you already introduced me and introduced the topic, so thank you very much. And maybe I want to start by telling you why is it so dear to me to communicate in nonviolent way. And as I really love cooperating with people and I like doing common projects, then it helps me when I know NVC to solve problems, to avoid them, to be more clear about what I want and what are my plans, and also to understand other people better. Yes, and today I will show you some 4 ways how you can react to any situation you encounter. And before I go to that, I want to underline 3 key assumptions that are like basic of nonviolent communication. So the first one is all actions are attempts to meet needs. And that means that everything we do, what I do, what other people do, they do to meet their needs, like they really want to achieve something by doing that. So it's not against me. And even if I don't like what they do, I still can have it in mind. The second one is that everybody is responsible for their feelings, needs, and actions. So I am responsible for my needs and my feelings, and other person is responsible for theirs. And I am not responsible for others, and also they are not responsible for how I am at the moment. And the third one is needs of every person are equally important and can be at least taken into consideration. So very often people learn about nonviolent communication and they think, okay, now I can be empathic and I can listen to others and focus on them. But it's really important to remember also about ourselves. Yeah, so how these key assumptions can be used in your everyday life. And here I prepared one example of difficult message I can hear. And that can be actually anything someone does and you don't like it, or maybe someone says something and you are immediately irritated. here I ask you to imagine the situation when you meet someone who knows you quite well, and then they say, why can't you live normally? Like, other people don't behave this way. And now try to imagine, like, what would be your first reaction? What would be your first thoughts? And I stop sharing the screen, and we will ask you to write your first thoughts in Menti. Yeah, so you have this code here, yes, and you can go and write your first thoughts. Imagine maybe your sister or your father or mother says, why can't you live normally? Yeah, confused, pain, sadness. Yeah, you don't understand how I feel inside. Yeah, I am not normal. Mm-hmm. So I see some feelings and some thoughts. And now I would really like to focus on your first thoughts. Yeah, disappointed in myself. Yeah, I am different. What do you mean by normal? Yeah, what's normal and what's not normal? Yeah, I think that I am disrespected. Yeah, don't judge me. Mm-hmm. I'm triggered, and this is my life and my way. I can live my life as I feel like. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Yeah, so as you can see, there are different reactions to the same sentence. And yeah. And usually when we follow our thoughts, we can be in two states. We can start blaming others or start blaming ourselves. And it's like being in the vicious circle. Like, we blame others, we blame ourselves, and we go in kind of a loop. So blaming others, what's that? It's mainly thinking that there is something wrong with another person. And we are likely to feel anger and really irritation. And when we start blaming others, we usually have a lot of energy. It gives us to attack someone else, and we believe that we are okay and the other person is not okay. So in the example I showed you before, I could think, how can he say that? My life is perfectly normal. His life is so ridiculous. Like, he should support me, not criticize. Yeah, and in this state, it's really difficult to connect with that person. I am in this blaming mode. The other way, and I saw example in what you wrote there, is blaming ourselves. So I can start thinking that maybe there is some truth in what that person is saying. Yeah, so maybe, maybe there is something not normal with my life. Yeah, so I'm taking responsibility what I have just heard. I think that maybe I should change something, and oh, that person noticed that I am not so great, and I am likely to feel shame, guilt, and lack of hope and sadness. And if my internal critic is really strong, it can get me even to the depression. So what I could think in this situation that I mentioned before, I could think that, yeah, actually he's right. I'm not managing my life so well. Maybe I should stop chasing my dreams and settle down. And how can I be so immature in my age? So here I am not okay, and that person is okay. And I wonder if you can recognize these two states where we blame others and ourselves. And even after knowing nonviolent communication for a few years, like almost 10 now, I still have these reactions as the first one. So I can blame myself and others. And the change is that I don't believe my thoughts anymore. So I don't get triggered on my thought. So what can I do instead of blaming myself and others? I can go into sensing what's happening in myself. And that's called also self-empathy. So if I am triggered, if I am irritated and really mad at someone, what I can do to really regain my power, regain my responsibility for myself. So I like turn off the buttons that others can push. Yeah, so I want to go out of this reactive mode. I want to really be master of my reactions. And self-empathy is really helpful in this case. So I can sense my own feelings and needs. And how to do that? I focus my attention not on my feelings, but I go beside my feeling and check, okay, what's so important in this situation? How am I feeling now? Yeah, so I'm really becoming conscious of myself and what are my needs that are not met at this moment. And going back to the example, so when I hear his words that my life is not normal, I feel really sad and maybe disappointed because I need understanding, I need support and trust. And I don't have it when that person says the sentence. And to help you understand what are the feelings and needs according to nonviolent communication, I have here some definitions and examples. And really important is to distinguish feelings from thoughts. Like very often we say, oh, I am feeling ignored or I am feeling manipulated. Yeah? But actually, I'm not sharing how I am. I'm just telling what I think that other people do to me. Another example is that sometimes we say, I feel that, for example, I feel that nobody understands me. Yeah? I feel that I am really useless. And still, I am not sharing my feelings. I am just sharing what I think, how I interpret someone's behavior, and it doesn't give information to another person how I am in this moment. And what are the feelings then? It's the feelings that I could easily show myself. So I could show you that I am happy, or that I am sad, or that I am really irritated. Yeah, so it's like feelings are like the emotions I experience in this moment. And it's important to know what I feel and to notice where is this feeling inside me and how I am in this moment, because that can point me to my needs. So it's not that I stay with my feelings forever and I'm sad and even more sad, but I have a look at my sadness and try to guess, okay, what do I need in this moment when I'm sad? And with needs, it's important to not mix them with strategies. So the needs are this inner energy that drives us, and needs are universal. So everybody has the same needs and everybody is able to understand when I say that I have a need, for example, of peace, or I have a need of beauty, or I have a need of rest. And when I say about needs, there is no concrete person or action attached to it. And if I add that, for example, I want to rest now with you somehow, I need to sit on the couch, for example, then it's not a need. Then it's my idea of the strategy, how I can fulfill my need of rest. So then I go to strategies, and strategies are not like, different people have different strategies for the same needs. So I like resting by, for example, reading a book, and someone likes going for a walk or maybe biking, and then they are really happy that they could rest. So that's why it's so important to focus on needs and not on the strategies. Yeah, so if I stay long enough on sensing my own feelings and needs, on my self-empathy, and I really understand, okay, I get triggered and I get really sad because I need this understanding and support, then probably there will be space in me to understand also the other side, the other person. And that's this fourth way of receiving difficult message. So I can go into sensing others' feelings and needs. So how that person is feeling right now. What needs are they trying to fulfill, but what they say. So I go back to this assumption that, yes, everybody acts because they want to fulfill their needs. And I don't need to agree with their actions. I really, it's possible that I don't like them, but I can be still curious what's behind that. So what needs are they trying to fulfill? How are they feeling at this moment? Yeah, I try to understand that person, and that is called empathy for the other person. And in this scheme I am showing you, it's everything now happening just in me. So it's how I hear it in my head. I don't react yet. And yeah, someone says to me that, why don't you live normally? And then I can, instead of listening to these words and trying to interpret them against me, I am curious. Okay, so when he said that, maybe he felt worried, yeah, because he needed to be seen and to matter. Maybe they really would like to be sure that I am safe and that I know what I'm doing, so they can relax, yeah, and trust me. So it's the moment when I stop, turn off the story in my head, and I am curious. I try to see the human behind the words. And I hope it's clear. Yeah, and here I prepared you the quote from Marshall Rosenberg, the creator of nonviolent communication. And he said that when we understand the needs that motivate our own and others' behavior, we have no enemies. And it's because we stop seeing a threat in what other people do or say. We just focus on their feelings and needs and on our feelings and needs. And then we, when we see the needs of everyone involved, then we can try to find the solutions that are good for me and for other persons. So this is seeing the world as I am okay and other people are okay. So I don't focus on who is right and who is wrong. I focus, okay, what is important in this situation? What really matters to me and to other person? Yeah, so I stopped sharing the screen, and I'm curious if there are any questions, or yeah, do you want to give me some example and I can take you through this example? And I don't see the Facebook live, and if there are any questions.
So the first question is, how does one convey their ideas fully without being dominating or aggressive?
Can you repeat the first, how can one?
Sure. How does one convey their ideas fully without being dominating or aggressive?
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So it's not the aim of nonviolent communication to convince someone that I am right and make them do what I want. It's more that I am sharing what's important for me, because if I go through this self-empathy and then I have clarity what I want, then of course I can express it. So I can share, yeah, when you tell me that I could change my life and live normally, then I'm really sad because I want to be understood and I want trust. And can you tell me like what could help you understand that I am really taking responsibility for my life and that I know what I'm doing? Yeah, so I go into this dialogue, and of course I can say what I am feeling and what I am needing and what I am requesting on someone. But it's really important to be open for different opinion and for no when person says, no, I don't agree with you, and because I understand it some in other way, and then I switch into empathy. So I try to understand what's so important in for that person, and it's not my goal to convince them. I can really clearly say what I want, and I can be make sure that they understand what I mean. For example, I can ask them to repeat what I said, and then I know if I expressed myself clearly or not. But surely I cannot convince or make them believe what I believe or do what I want. Yeah, without domination.
So the next question is, which even has a follow-up question to it. I have been in situations where I've wanted to calmly resolve issues, but have been pushed to walk away or stay my ground and defend myself. Is there an effective way of getting past such a passive-aggressive confrontation?
Mm-hmm.
And the follow-up question is, shall I also say the follow-up question, or will it be too long?
Yeah.
So the follow-up question is, some people can actually take advantage of us if we are too empathetic and open. Can this be a threat?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe it's easier to start with the last one, because
Sure.
for me, you cannot be too empathetic. It's if you are too empathetic, then it means that it's not empathy. Because empathy in nonviolent communication is understood as I focus on the feelings and needs of other person. But it doesn't mean that I agree with that person or that I do what they want. It's more that I really want to understand. I want to accompany them in their state. I want to help them understand better what's so important for them. Mm-hmm. And that is not threatening to my beliefs and to my stance, because then I can go to self-empathy and I can see, okay, I see what's important for that person, and at the same time, I see what's important for me. So, and it's equal. It's not that when I am empathic to other person, I am lower and they are more important than me. No, we are in the dialogue. I am important and that other person is important. And also if, I really would like to support that person. If it's, mainly if it's someone I care about, then I really would like to do something for that person. And if I see that I can do something, then I can do it with joy. But if I see that other person wants to make me do something, then probably I will resist, and my internal teenager will wake up and I will say no. I will not do that, and I will really keep my boundaries. And going into this passive aggressive, it's for me, nonviolent communication is really great tool to take care about my boundaries, about what to be somehow assertive, but in this soft way. So it's like assertiveness, that I take care about my needs, I am aware of them, and I'm open to supporting other people. But in the moment when I see that, oh, I don't like what they are doing, I can understand their motives, but I don't like what they are doing, I can ask them, okay, can you change your strategy? Can we think about other solution that fits me as well?
Understood. Thank you so much.
I hope it answers.
So I just ask if there are any more questions for us. What are ways one can develop better empathy?
Yeah, the easiest way is to start practicing with situations that are not so much triggering. So at the first, we don't take the situations that are really loaded with emotions, but we can take, okay, I went to the shop and someone shouted at me that I'm what am I doing here? Or someone did something I didn't like, but I really don't I don't know that person, but I can practice. Yeah, I can check, okay, what are my feelings? What are my needs? What I could do differently? Yeah, what's so important? And then when I practice, it's getting in my, my brain is starting reacting differently. So these 4 ways of hearing messages, what I can recommend you is to take situations from your life, 1, 2, or 3, and try to check, okay, where I blaming someone in this situation? And really give everything, and don't be shy. Write down your all thoughts about others. They are really stupid, they are ignorant, they don't listen to me, there is no hope for them. Yeah, just to let it out. And not to pretend that we don't have these thoughts, because sometimes people think, okay, no, I'm a good person, I never judge others, and they try to hide it. Yeah, but when we are not aware of our thoughts, then still they have power over us. And when we feel more tired, they suddenly can take over and we start shouting and yelling at others. Yeah, even if we were thinking about ourselves that we are so, good people. Yeah, and then, go to check also if you have some criticism about yourself. And some people have really strong inner critic. And try to write down what are the thoughts connected to that, and then go into self-empathy and empathy to others. And you can do it on paper. And the more you repeat it, the more I like to it's action reaction, and very often they are in the same time. I hear something and I react without thinking.
That's true.
So nonviolent communication can help you to make the space between. And at the beginning, it's really difficult to react immediately. So what you can do, it's not to blame yourself, oh, again, I didn't manage, but you can sit down and reflect on the situation later. And usually in our lives, we have, 5, 10 situations when we are really triggered. And when we analyze all of them, then next time we can, I know that when somebody does that, my need of freedom is in danger. And I really want to decide on my own, what I'm doing. And then I can say, okay, so it's not about that person that they want to manipulate me or they want to make me do something. But I really can focus, I really need freedom and autonomy, and I want to decide about myself. That's important.
That's true. Thank you very much. We have a question from Ku Un Seo on YouTube. He asked, or she, is there any skill that we can use to figure out others' intentions? The intention of others, basically.
Yeah, in the 4th step, as I said, we do it internally. So I'm guessing. And of course, I cannot be sure what's a real intention, or what kind of feelings and needs that other person had. And what I can do is to ask. And that's the easiest. And also not to be afraid to be wrong, because what matters is the intention to connect and to check. And like I like NVC because it's about transparency. So I don't keep my stories to myself. I can say them aloud. So I can really ask that person, okay, are you worried because you want to some trust, or do you want to really be understood? And then that person can say, no, I'm not worried. I am really irritated when I see you because, yeah, I think you are behaving wrongly or something, yeah? Or I don't like it. And then you can start dialogue. And about the intention, it's like I really believe, and of course I need to remind it to myself, that people have the intention not to hurt not to hurt me and not to do something against me, but their intention is to really fulfill their needs. And at the moment, what they are doing it in the best way they are able to. And sometimes the strategy is really tragic and it doesn't help at all. Yeah.
That's true. That was such a nice response.
Yeah.
So one last question I think would be, can self-pity be mistaken for self-empathy?
Yeah, self-pity is when we stop on feelings and thoughts. So it's like, okay, I am so sad, there's no hope for me, and I am stuck in this, and oh, how poor me. Like, I really try the best and I cannot do anything about that. Yeah, and when I stop there, I don't go into the action, how to change. So it's really important to name the feelings, but also go to the needs. And then when I know the need, for example, yeah, I really want trust here. So then I can think, what can I do to have this trust, to have more trust in my life? Is there anything that I can ask myself? Or is there anything I can ask others? So if I know the need, then it's quite easy to think about the solution really connected to the need. And then it's not self-pity anymore. Then we are empowered to really take care about ourselves and take responsibility for our lives.
Thank you so much. This was really such an enlightening session.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope all of us can take at least some of the teachings the next time we hear something difficult.
Yeah. And yeah, be soft to yourself and accept that you don't need to be perfect.
That's really lovely. That's my personal goal. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was lovely having you.
Yeah, thank you very much for invitation.
Ciao.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.